Good evening to everybody. Today I will discuss about the election result of 5 assemblies. Though final result have not come, the trend shows clear picture who is going to rule where. In UP, BJP is going to get landslide victory. It will get the same majority as it has got in 2017. Maybe only 7-8 seats less. So it will form government in UP. And Yogi Adityanath is going to be the first chief minister in the last 3 decades who will become chief minister for the consecutively second time. But in Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party is going to rule. It has got massive majority and it is expected to get around 92 seats, even 70 seats more than previous assembly. And the first time Aam Aadmi Party will form its government in second state. After Delhi, it will form government in Punjab. So gradually it is going to gain national character. In Uttarakhand, BJP will rule again. Congress has marginally improved, but that is not substantial. But in Manipur and Goa, BJP will not only rule, but it has gained little bit more seats, and Congress seat has declined as compared to previous assembly. Congress has lost its significance, importance, as manifested, as reflected in those 5 state assembly elections. Actually, it is not BJP has gained, it is rather Congress has lost, or Congress is losing its ground, we can say. Because when Congress is losing its ground, people are searching for alternative, and they think BJP is probably better alternative. But in Punjab, when they have got alternative in form of Aam Aadmi Party, they have voted with a massive majority. Even BJP had got only 2 seats in the last assembly, and it has got same 2 seats in this election. Why it cannot got more seats? That is also need to be analyzed. In UP, the vote share of BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party, has declined rapidly, and this is gained by BJP. So before making critical analysis, I want to discuss about our election procedures, our democracy, how people are choosing party, all those need to be discussed. Otherwise, we cannot make critical evaluation. What is the status of our democracy? All over world, democracy is sliding where autocracy is growing. When autocracy grows, it does not mean it is opposed by everybody. People do not understand it. And India is described as a flawed democracy, defective democracy, in Democracy Index. In 2000, its position was around 26. And it has declined to 53 in 2020 index, and marginally little bit it has improved little bit. Indian democracy is also described as a electoral autocracy. So, whatever result may be, our democracy is confined to only the power of voting. Whatever we praise may be, we praise. We are now allowed to give our or cast our voting independently, which is also not available in many autocratic countries or countries ruled by military rule. But beyond this, what do we enjoy? Do we enjoy to compete? Money, muscle, power plays a dominant role. In our Lok Sabha, around 43% MP have criminal background according to their declaration of their own affidavit. The average asset of Lok Sabha is around 20 crore. Average asset of Lok Sabha MP is around 20 crore. And average asset of Rajya Sabha is around 55 crore. That means people with criminal background are entering Lok Sabha, while richer section of the people are entering the Rajya Sabha. That means in Rajya Sabha, it is meant for creative people, intellectuals, writers, singers, those who contribute to society, but they don't get time to mix with the society people, or they fail to get physically interacted. This is meant for such type of people, but it is flooded with a richer section of the society who are having huge wealth and asset. So there is very less space for the good people. We can cast our vote, but everybody cannot compete. Even compete, they have to get the ticket from a party. They cannot compete independently. If you compete independently, they cannot win. In order to get a ticket, it is not easy. It is too difficult. Even get ticket, there will be violence. You must be prepared to face violence. You may be threatened. So atmosphere is not conducive to the good people to enter the politics. That doesn't mean good people are not entering politics, or all bad people entering. Good people are entering, also they are winning. And particularly the victory of Aam Aadmi Party shows that still there is space for good people, and still without much money or muscle power, one can win. But that cannot be taken as the general state of affairs or general status of our democracy or voting patterns. So it is now we are in such type of democracy. Now coming to next thing, when one joins politics, it is told that politics is one of the soberest activities of a human being, based on the blend of reality and morality. Just opposed to, some say politics is the last resort of scoundrels. But what I think, politics is an important ingredient of democracy. For the survival of democracy, success of democracy, election is a part of democracy. People have to compete. We cannot tell joining politics, doing politics or joining any party is bad. It is necessary for the survival of democracy. Or those who are joining, we cannot tell all are bad people. Good people are also joining. We cannot generalize. But what is the important thing? When one joins a party, what is the criteria of a joining party? Nowadays, ideology does not get importance. That is the important. Those who are a progressive outlook, those who are left-leaning, those who are pro-people, they basically do not compromise their ideology to join a political party or to get elected. Even they prefer, if they prefer, either they may not be get ticket or they may not be elected, they do not want to join party which is opposed to the philosophy of a working class or which is not pro-people but pro-rich, pro-corporate. They prefer to maintain their ideology, philosophy rather than joining a political party or joining or contesting in elections. But most of those who join a political party, they consider first where they can win. We must understand that they consider where we can win. They do not consider what is the ideology of a party, how it is pro-people, how it will help the masses. They think where they can, if they join this party, what is the probability of a success. They choose the party accordingly. When they do not get access or get a ticket from one party, they choose next best alternative. They do not choose select a party based on their thinking or ideology. So ideology has been relegated to secondary factor when choosing a party. Most of in panchayat or municipality elections or other elections, ideology is losing its significance. That is the most important thing. So what is happening? Many film stars, many rich people, many bureaucrats after retirement, top class people after retirement, they want some position in society, because once you lose power, nobody will ask you. They do not think of ideologies. They think to join party and sustain their power for longer period or till death. So after retirement or after when any film star or a celebrity become old, they choose a party not based on ideology, just where they can get ticket and win the election. So ideology is losing its significance today. That is very detrimental to the Indian democracy. What happens when one joins party? In our democracy, our system of our democracy, which needs to be changed, when one joins a party, he loses or she loses his independence. She cannot express his own idea, thought. She has to or he has to argue, speak, write or comment in line with the party. If he, a member of a party, commits a grievous blunder, he has to support in televisions, debate or in papers. He cannot criticize. So that happens when many good people want to join politics. They do not join because they lose their independent thinking, critical thinking. So that is the biggest drawback of democracy, which needs to be addressed and thought. And when one joins one party, he becomes a yes-man to the party ideology or party principle. He or she starts to speak in favor of high command. He does not criticize or he does not expose the loophole or failure of party. And simultaneously, when he tries to satisfy ego of a higher level, in the lower level, he wants to perpetuate the supremacy, perpetuate the philosophy of party in the lower cadres. So, virtually, it becomes a agenda for gaining power instead of solving the problems of masses. That is happening. So democracy is weakened, voice of voiceless is getting decimated. And when one wins, he tries to satisfy, he tries to solve the problems of those people who have supported him or helped him. For example, in area when one is get elected, it is not necessarily he is the representative of only those who have voted. He is the representative of all. Prime Minister is the representative of 138 crores Indian. He is not representative of those people who have voted him. But what happens in ground level, in low people, once elected, they try to serve only those who are with him, who have her or who have supported, who are having this inclination to his or her party. That is why others get decimated. Critics get decimated. That is a decline of our democracy. Next important thing is, you require huge money, power, wealth, manpower, and all these things to contest election. So in this background, election was held. Now question is, how Narendra Modi or BJP is winning despite massive failures? That is the question people should ask. Because Corona pandemic has affected India. India is most affected due to Corona pandemic. People are facing price rise, inflation in a large scale. Their purchasing power decimated. Growth is declining. During pandemic, rich are getting richer around. Their wealth has increased from 21 lakh crore to 53 lakh crores. 4.6 crore people have been dragged into poverty line. Around 84% of families have seen their decline in income. Massive price rise, job are squeezed. There is no creation of job. Unemployment has increased. So still, how they are getting massive majority? That is the most important thing. Thing is that there is a two way of achieving success. For example, you are reading a class. You are scoring 80%. Another is scoring 85% marks. You want to cross him. If you will try to score more than his, you can bypass him. You can become number one. But if you can see that his mark is less than you or decreased what you have secured, then you can also become number one. So what is happening today in the last 8 years? Government ruling class is targeting the oppositions. When one is opposition, because he is not elected by people to rule and he has some failure, so that is why he is in opposition, or he is not quite enough to rule. So how you can target opposition? The who is ruling class is to be targeted. A government is elected to perform. Whoever rules, he will be targeted, he will be criticized. But in the last 8 years, the media has changed the theory under the pressure of ruling class. They are targeting the oppositions most. How? That means they are trying to prove that Narendra Modi led government is not better than Congress. They are trying to establish that Congress is worse than BJP. Or if Congress comes into power, it will be proved worse than BJP. And there is no alternative to Narendra Modi. So they are targeting the opposition. In everything, it is compared, the performance of present government is compared with the worst of any countries or worst of previous regime to project that present is good. What is important? People are made to believe that what are the state of affairs today, they are enjoying best possible life, though they are suffering a lot. What is important? Poverty, hunger, unemployment, inequality is no more issue. Corruption is no more issue. Rampant banking frauds. NPA is rising rampantly. Who are beneficiary of this? It is definitely some are beneficiary there. They are not caught. So it is a poverty, hunger, unemployment, they are no more issue. Those who are roaming on the street without job, they are not thinking that they are unemployment because of the weakness in government policy, failure in government policy. It is not all will get, but they do not understand. They get satisfied of getting some rupees by attending rallies or meeting. Those who are hungry, those who are languishing under poverty and starvation, they do not blame who is ruling, rather they blame their fate. Rather they blame who fight for them. So the thought has been changed. People have lost the power of resistance, raising voice. Intellectuals are divided. When some section of the intellectual are pro-people, anti-establishment, who want to do their proper role, exposing the failure of government, simultaneously another section of intellectual fights them. Intellectuals are divided. People are ruled by division as Britishers were ruling us. So people are not getting correct information despite massive failure, joblessness, rising poverty, hunger, starvation, declining growth, rise in prices of essential commodity, privatization of public sector, privatization of essential service. Still people are not able to realize what is the truth. And simultaneously, it is the failure of progressive people who are yet to fight unitedly. They do not try to bring the truth, ensure that truth reaches the masses. That is the important thing. What happens? Those who are poor, those who are struggle to wake up their basic existence, those who think that they can only survive if working, if do not work on a day, they will have to remain hunger. So they don't have time to think, read, or analyze. Even people with background being professors, top bureaucrats, have no critical thinking. They fail to analyze critically. What happens? So when large section of the people are struggle to get their sustain their life, they don't have time. They do not know what is good, bad, what is politics, who is better ruler. So they cast their vote what they will think. They get influenced by media, peoples, so and so. So by this way, Narendra Modi is leading the country and gaining. What is happening? I think not Narendra Modi is gaining, rather Congress is losing its ground. Impact of Gandhi family has declined. In most of time, attack is made on family politics by prime ministers. It is not that in other party there is no family politics. Most of the politicians want to see their children in politics, and it is happening in India, even in other countries also. But why it is noticeable in Gandhi family? Because many have become prime ministers. Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi have become prime minister. That is more noticeable. What is important? It is not questioning who is prime minister or which family member is prime minister or who is a better ruler. People are not convinced. It is not questioning of where he has come, or but question is how much he is solving the problem of people, how is he better. So this is one factor. Second factor is that one person is a good leader or a powerful speaker or a power to influence the people. It depends upon how the people accept him or her. There is no certain criteria, there is no certain yardstick to calculate. It is one of the creativity activities of a person. One cannot be a good mass speaker if he wants. It is one type of a creativity inherent, one basic instinct. It cannot be easily learned. Had it even so, all the cricketers would have got their players better cricketers, or the film star have got their children better film star. But they have failed because it is creative matters. What is happening that people are not so much impressed. Maybe the way Rahul Gandhi is speaking or the way he is leading party. It is not that we cannot say that he will not be efficient leader or he will be efficient prime minister. It is nobody can say because this depends upon one mentality. But presently, people are not the way are not accepting the way Congress High Command wants. So Congress is Congress is losing its ground to. It is gaining. BJP is gaining. Where alternatives is available, people are casting votes alternatively. They are not going for BJP. For example, in Odisha, people are voted BJD because they found a alternative to BJP or Congress. In Delhi, Aam Aadmi was voted. In Punjab, now Aam Aadmi has been voted. So, election of Aam Aadmi reveals that still there is a hope. Money, muscle, or media power cannot determine all. Still, one aspect we may say Indian democracy nascent state. Same time we can say by looking the electoral result of Punjab, it has matured enough. So this is the way which election is made or election result is done. Election is found. What is important today? Why left peoples are not making much headway? That is a major concern. It is not question what is the important thing is that they are pro people, they are pro working class, they fight for the masses, their policies is pro people. So why this is why they are not gaining power? That is the important thing. What is the important thing is that it is not question whoever rules, it is BJP rules or Congress rules or BJD rules or Aam Aadmi rules, whoever rules, there is a need for a strong opposition. A strong brake is necessary. When a vehicle runs, when driver drive a vehicle, if there will be no brake, then it will meet accidents. So when opposition is getting weakened and when media, intellectuals, academicians are attacking oppositions, they are destroying the brakes. That is the most important. They are destroying the brakes. That means the ruling class will ride roughshod on the masses. And a left party was acting as a brake. When left party is politically a philosophy, left philosophy is the greatest philosophy. But left party is decline means brake is dismantled, brake is weakened. There is no opposition, no strong brake means a vehicle will ride roughshod, it will move without control. Then when vehicle move without control, everybody can know what will happen. Everybody know it. Survival of a democracy depends upon a strong opposition. So in last 8 years, opposition has been destroyed deliberately. So voice of the voiceless are getting decimated. What happens? Always those who rules, they want to cater to the richer section of the society because they cater to that section who will help them in their electoral battle. Corporate can provide fund to their election party. Corporate media can publicize them. And they have to act under pressures of investors, multinational companies. So, richer section of society. So that is why they reduce corporate tax while they raise the indirect tax that affects the poor. They do not impose the wealth tax while they raise the taxes on petroleum products. That is the important thing, that they take recourse to take those steps, how they will win the election. So that determines the course of action. So it is needed. It is a time to think, introspect. It is not question which party is ruling or who will rule, how much you are rule. But there should be no place communalism, emotions, aggressive hyper-nationalism, trying to get vote by creating emotions. Name of God, religion should be kept separated from the politics. India is a secular country. Everybody has a right to worship gods. Everybody has a right to perform religious practices. But that should be kept separated. No prime minister or chief minister, no political leader should openly supports or oppose any religions. It should be totally separated, because people emotions are associated with each religion. When these emotions are exploited, it is sometimes transferred into political dividend. That is the most important. Second thing, a government is elected proper. So when government wants to do something or has done, it should not be publicized in each and every moment. So that's the important thing, which intellectual must think. It is not question that who is going to rule, who will rule, how much will rule. Question is survival of a democracy depend upon a strong oppositions. Congress is getting weakened, so opposition is getting weakened, so it needs to be introspected, it should be thought. Left party does not enjoy that political strength as it was enjoying some years back. It is not a question whether left party is good or bad, that is a separate thing. But their policy is pro-people, pro-farmers, pro-working class, and particularly importance is that they were doing the act of strong break. And when break fails, everybody knows what happens. So we must think. I congratulate those who have won elections. It is definitely the victory of Aam Aadmi has created a hope that election can be won even without much money or muscle power or advertisement. But one must have hope, and a democracy should not be confined to only casting vote. But one must have one must have a power to get ticket, contest election easily without much threat. That liberty is still, that liberty, freedom, privilege, still Indians to yet to get. Thank you all. Namaste.